Hugo, when we slaughter the enemy, make sure we look fabulous. Have you seen this dick?
No.
Must be a good dick. If you're shitting your pants and you're happy, I think that's good. That's enlightenment.
Hello and welcome to Francis Foster Sort Your Life Out, the greatest show on earth where I sort your problems out. I'm not a therapist, not a psychotherapist. I'm not any type of mental health professional, which means that I really know what I'm talking about. Send me your problems because you've got fucking loads of them. I know you have. And I will sort them out with a guest sometimes, depending on when we can book them because, you know, people are still... Anyway, we have got a brilliant guest for you this week. It's the splendid comedian and our first gentleman of colour. It's Neel Kolhatkar.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
I think you need that gentleman of colour perspective to sort some of these lives out.
Absolutely. And particularly because when you have a show called TRIGGERnometry, you look like me, you have tattoos and a South London accent. I need cover.
Yeah, everything you say is racist, right? So,
yes.
Yeah, I'm here to cover you.
Fantastic.
You can just tell me what to say. I'll say it. It's not racist then.
There you go. That's fantastic. What happens if you've got internalised racism?
Well, I've got that anyway. I've got internalised everything. So I've got internalised misogyny, internalised transphobia.
Yep.
I've got internalised...
I've seen your material, mate.
Yeah, internalised anti-Semitism.
Yep. That's fine. No one cares about the Jews.
Yeah, just
Israel.
My internal organs are just fucked right now. Everything is internalized.
I mean, you are a comedian, so I'm not surprised that your internal organs are fucked. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I try to... Nah, look, last night I had a couple of pints. It was fun. You have to. It's the UK.
Yeah, and you are Australian, and which brings me nicely onto some hack material, or hack topics, I should say. What's the difference? What have you noticed? Is it your first? No, it's not your first time, because I remember you. I was talking to a mate that we're interviewing you, and then she was like, me. Is it what is jokes funny? I remember your Brexit joke.
That one from 8 years ago.
I do.
When I was a little baby.
Yeah, I do remember it, and I remember it. And tell me if I got it right, okay, or if I butchered it. It went like this. So I've got a flatmate, and he's Italian, and he always steals my food from the fridge. And I called him one day, and I said to him, "Hey mate, don't do that." And he looked at me and went, "What are you going to do?" And I went, and so I voted Brexit. I butchered the end. But
it's funny when I say it, but those were the words I said.
Do you know, there's a great tradition on TRIGGERnometry where I will get a big name comedian and then I will do their material to them and I will butcher it. The joke about, you know, you're a conservative, welcome. You go to a group of liberals. We'll see.
Yes. That's maybe the worst telling of that joke.
I know. I was going to say, you fucking butchered it.
And yeah.
Do you want to do that? Because you saw my show last night. Thank you for that. Do you want to do the Hitler joke?
I think Hitler's great, and I don't see the problem. Standing ovation.
Exactly what I said. Yeah, standing ovation.
Yeah.
Couple of hands in the air.
Couple of hands. Well, mate, I saw your audience.
Look, I mean, Kanye West did it, and he's doing fine. So
you know that Kanye. It still makes me laugh, that clip. You know that Kanye West fucks up when even Alex Jones is like, whoa.
That's something else, isn't it?
Yeah.
When Alex Jones is like, okay, you're going too far here. That's an achievement, I think.
Yeah.
I think Kanye West has really hit peak Kanye West.
Yeah. I always remember when I remember being asked, because we're at the center of a lot of these discussions, someone going to me, do you think Kanye West meant what he said? I'm like, mate, he put a sock on his head and said he loved Hitler. I don't think he's a well man.
Yeah, what was that? Was that a fashion choice with the black everything? What was he trying to do there? What was the...
I don't know. I think it's genuine mental illness.
Just a sock on his head?
Yeah. Have you ever felt like doing that one day, just putting a sock on your head and saying, I love Hitler?
Yeah, every Sunday, actually. It's a regular occurrence. It's my morning routine. Forget cold showers, a sock on the head, saying you love Hitler. Feels great.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? That is, I mean, it's kind of hacked now. It's already been done. So you're going to have to do something.
You've got to go even further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to push your boundaries?
Well, Hitler was too soft. And I think he needed to be harsher. Maybe someone like Genghis Khan is a man to really admire.
Really? Genghis?
Yeah, Genghis, is that
I don't know, mate. However you pronounce it, he's dead now, so what's he going to fucking do? But, yeah, I mean, he could have been a left-wing comedian because he was a bit fan of the raping, so maybe.
They do love that, despite what they say.
Yeah, they do. They're like, respect women. Yeah.
Yeah, they love women so much they can't keep their hands off them.
Yeah, exactly. And, which is ironic when most of them claim not to know what one is.
That's exactly right, yeah. They don't even know what they're touching.
They don't.
They're just not touching it consensually.
Yeah, exactly.
At least they know at least they get the pronouns right.
Yeah,
it's late at night, they're waking up from the drugs. You're like, what's your pronouns? Oh, that's nice. He knows. Yeah. That's my pronouns.
Yeah, exactly. So they're very respectful. God bless them. Very respectful.
We need to be more like that.
We do. We just need to be better people.
Yeah, all these comedians on the right just having families and getting married and having kids. No. It's not. It's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to just get as drunk as you can every night and find a female open micer who's half your age.
Yep.
And just respect her pronouns, but don't respect anything else.
No, because that's progress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's Hitler's dream.
I don't think Hitler's dream extended to the open mic in London, Neil. Or maybe it did.
Well, he was sort of an open mic painter, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He couldn't really make it past. He couldn't get to the pros of painting.
No.
So maybe if there was a proper painting scene that actually rewarded him for his painting, we'd have a very different world today.
It's true. It's why someone tried to cancel me for putting on a far right comedy night, and I pushed back on that because I'll be honest, I don't think Hitler had much of a sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The outfits were pretty funny.
They were. You've got a great joke on it as well, talking about Hitler being but you said Hitler may have been a homosexual man.
Yeah, I think he was. I think there's a lot of evidence that from my perspective that shows he was a gay man.
Come on, let's explore it here. So
I think deep down, he had a bit of zig heyo, and he just couldn't release that. He couldn't express that, so he's angry with the world.
Yep.
You've seen his speech. He was an artist.
Yep.
He's flamboyant.
Yep.
Very fashionable.
Yep.
He put his whole body into his speeches, just getting into Deutschland. Oh, yeah. And he asked Hugo Boss to design the Nazi uniforms. That's as gay as it gets.
It is.
That's kind of gay, man. That's Hugo, when we slaughter the enemy, make sure we look fabulous.
But they did.
They actually did look really good. Like, you got to admit that. They had a great uniform.
They had a great uniform. I'm not saying that I agree, but
no. But if you're looking at the uniform, you're like, all right, I'm choosing the Axis.
That is true, because if you look at it and think about this, who else did they have? Japan, famous actually for a lot. Issey Miyake, very famous for their fashion wear. There's lots of people who love Japanese style clothing. And
the Italians. I mean, that's fashion is what they do.
Exactly. So really, if you're going to be a fascist, you're going to look good.
Yeah, they may have lost the war. They won the fashion war.
Yeah. And as we all know, that is the most important. That's
more important than anything else.
Exactly. And on that note, we are going to help sort your problems out, not just your fashion ones, maybe also your fascistic ones, maybe any other problems that you have. Make sure to send it in to us and we will do that. The email is here because unfortunately over a lifetime of having fun, I have incurred what is euphemistically called damage. So I can't remember certain things. So the email will be there. Make sure to send it to us and we will sort out your problems for you. And on that note, we're here. Elliot has your problems. Elliot, present them please and we will do our best. That was a very clunky intro. Not my best, but, whatever. Go for it.
The damage is showing.
The damage is showing. I mean, it really is. It's like, you've got ADHD. I'm thinking, no, mate, it's just drugs. Anyway, the early noughties, you're too young for it. What a time. And the late 90s.
Yeah, I was doing drugs as a 6-year-old. I loved it.
You were on the Ritalin early.
A few years there, I just don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's how hard you were partying, mate.
Yeah, there was a dummy laced with acid, all sorts of stuff.
Mate, you were double dropping in soft play. Okay.
Right. This first one's from Lily. The title is Ex-Boyfriend Cheated on Me. Told another girl that our sex was bad, found out that they are very sexually compatible, and now I'm so insecure. Need emotional advice. What the title says. Found my ex-boyfriend cheated on me. He told an ex-hookup partner that our sex was bad, so we broke up. But we were still together when they hooked up. He slept with her 3 days after our first sex. I'm feeling so insecure right now. He told me he really enjoyed it, but now I found out about this. He was also constantly sexting her.
Sounds like you got to work on your sex game, Lily.
No. It's a little bit of victim shaming here. And I mean, she used the words our first sex. I mean, that is a bit autistic.
Yeah.
First sex?
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
No.
Our first encounter, our first time.
The first time we made love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he does sound like a bit of a dickhead, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, sexting another girl, cheating on his girlfriend, saying that the sex wasn't good.
Yeah.
How you solve a problem like that, though? Because if you've broken up, that's the first step.
Yeah.
She's broken up. Maybe got to make him jealous.
Do you think so?
Be really toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck his friends.
Yeah.
And talk about how much bigger their dicks were. And text him.
I never want to upset you, mate. That is some Machiavellian mind games there. You know, the way that you do that. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of feel sorry for young people. I genuinely do.
Why is that?
Like the whole, I tried. I was single and I tried the apps. It's awful. Did you like the apps?
No, I'm not a fan of the apps at all. Yeah.
And are you kind of famous now in Australia?
Yeah, so in that sense, I had people pretending to be me on the apps.
Really?
Which is weird. Like, of all the potentially famous people, you'd have to have pretty low self-esteem to be like, yeah, I'm going to be this D-list brown celebrity rather than Chris Hemsworth. Like, why are you being me of all people on the apps?
But you see, you're obtainable in a way that Chrissy isn't. I call him Chrissy because we're good mates.
Yeah, true. I guess
Gym
if you saw me on Tinder, you'd think, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He looks like a hornbag. Whereas if you saw Chris, you'd think, oh, what's going on here? This is a catfish for sure.
Yeah.
I guess so. It's calculated. Calculated pretending to be me on the apps.
Yeah, and how did you find the apps?
I met my current girlfriend on Tinder, actually.
You met your current... How long have you been together?
4 years now.
On Tinder?
Nearly 4 years,
so
yeah.
you're like one... You're one of the chosen ones.
I'm one of the chosen ones, just like Hitler said.
And how did you meet?
On Tinder, we met.
Oh, yeah, but where did you go?
We went to a bar and it was a great night. And yeah, we've been dating for 4 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was rare. But before that, yeah, I didn't have a good time on the apps.
No. The apps are frequently dreadful. So going back to Lily's question, what should she do? She's been with this guy. He's publicly said that she's bad in bed. Now, that's not very nice.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, she's broken up with him, right? That's the first step.
Yeah.
After that, you got to get your confidence up. So if this was a male friend, what would we say? We'd say go out, get drunk.
Yeah.
Just sleep around a bit.
Yeah.
Get your confidence back up.
Yeah.
Now, would you say the same to a woman?
No.
No?
No.
How does she get her confidence back up?
Do you know what? This is, I think, the best way of doing it. And we touched on it in the interview. It's a little bit of reframing, Lily. It's being grateful that you're no longer with him because you're not wasting your time anymore.
That's true.
The guy's clearly a dickhead. He did you a favor. You now see who he actually is instead of who he pretends to be, which, to be fair, we all do at the beginning of a relationship. So in many ways, when somebody behaves like that to you, you have to say, thank you for showing me who you really are, because now I can move on.
I'm better than that.
Yeah.
That's what you are, Lily. You're better than him.
Exactly.
They deserve each other. Did you say it was her friend that he cheated on her with?
Yeah, I think she knew the other girl.
Oof.
That's not good, is it?
That bitch.
Yeah.
You got to cut her out as well. Cut them both out.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the problem is like, particularly when you're young, you know, you don't know who your real friends are. You don't know who you really are. And so you get involved in these situations. But like I said, these aren't your friends. You thought they were, but they're not. It's like comedy where you're like, we're all mates. And then it rapidly becomes apparent when you get a little bit of success or, you know.
Everyone's fucking each other in comedy.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. And it's not something you'd want to watch. You wouldn't go on Pornhub and go, I want to watch comedians.
No, not at all.
No,
I can't imagine comedians fuck well. I just, yeah.
Was that your opening line to your now missus?
That's the first thing I said. I'm like, I'm a comedian, but I can fuck.
That's good. And she went for it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
In 4 years.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You look them in the eye and you just hit them.
You just say, I know how to fuck. And you maintain eye contact. And this is actually just a stranger you see on the train.
Yeah.
And you don't say anything else. And you just keep staring at them.
Well, I mean, that's number one, how you get a seat. And number two, staring has it been made illegal by the Metropolitan Police?
Staring?
Yeah, you can't stare.
But at a person or at just...
No, a person. You can't stare anymore. A woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
So what you meant to do on the tube, like behave like a normal person.
Just stare. You can't stare at her face, or you can't stare at any... Can you stare at a man?
Yeah, because men, no one gives a shit.
Okay.
So you're allowed to sexually objectify a man.
Okay.
You know.
So you can stare at a man as much as you want.
Yeah.
But a woman?
No.
How do they police something like that? Because if there's so many people around you and you just have to look, do you have to just look at the ground? Do you have to...
You have to be like a Muslim wife and look down at all times. That's the way of doing it. That's how you've got to be. So you're not allowed to look at women, but women are allowed to go and watch Magic Mike, because that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Wow. Okay.
Welcome to Britain. You're enjoying it here?
Oh, sounds like paradise.
It is paradise. It's a socialist paradise,
I
Neel.
just want to go to Magic Mike and look at the men. Look at the eyes there.
Yeah. And
the third eye.
You will see the third eye.
I have.
Yeah, I know. We've all been in that Just for Laughs audition.
I've seen the tears.
Yeah.
From all the eyes.
From all the eyes. Beautiful, beautiful tears.
So you can't stare. That's a law, is it?
I don't... is that a law?
There's no such thing as intrusive staring, is what it says. So I don't think it's illegal yet. I know that some companies have policies where you can't stare or linger for more than a few seconds.
So you're allowed to do this, but nothing else.
So you have to have a cheeky look, but you can't have not a creepy look.
You can't have a creepy look.
Okay.
I mean, what's the point? Where's the fun? Anyway,
yeah.
what we're going to do? Next question,
just
please.
Just wear blackout sunglasses, then they can't see where you're looking.
That's true.
And
That's
say
a
you're
great way
blind.
around. Maybe it's just big sunglasses, the companies behind big sunglasses, paying off the government to start this law so more people buy big sunglasses. That's the real conspiracy, big sunglass.
Biggest big sunglass, baby. We've solved it. Now we know what's happening. Next dilemma, please.
This is from Anonymous.
Yeah.
I'm a 35-year-old man. My wife has a strange habit of urinating in the tea she serves guests at our home.
Oh, straight off the bat.
Yeah.
She says it gives her a kick.
Oh my God.
Though I was shocked at first, I've started enjoying it too. In fact, I do the same when making tea for guests. I've heard that drinking urine is not harmful. Is it safe to continue doing this?
I suppose it's physically safe, right? Is it dangerous to drink urine?
I mean, if you think about what urine is, it's a waste product.
Yeah.
From your blood and then through the kidneys, pass through the kidneys. So it's a waste product, which is why it stinks, smells bad.
I guess it depends how healthy they are.
Yeah.
If they got clear white urine,
yeah,
maybe that's good to put in the tea. It's a bit of a detox. But if they got that dark yellow, then no.
No, and also as well, it depends. Apparently, diabetics' piss tastes sweet.
Yeah, I've tried it. It's good.
Yeah, so maybe. I tell you what, they know how to treat comedians. You know, if you were told, if this came from a comedy club, that they put piss in the tea, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, but mate, they pay great on a weekend, so...
Is piss slang for beer here? Because in Australia, if you get on the piss, you get on the beers.
Oh.
I guess they've taken that literally, and they're getting on the piss. What are the logistics of that? Does she pee? Do you think she pees into some sort of funnel?
I reckon she just plonks it down on the ground, just squats over it.
No, but
then there'd be splashback, right? In a little teacup.
I mean, because that would be the worst of this issue, of the problem.
No, you got to think of the logistics of it. You got to plan it properly. If the guests are already in the other room, you want the fresh urine. You don't want the urine that's a couple of days old unless she keeps it in the freezer. You know, at least if you're going to consume urine, you want it to be fresh.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess that's a good way of looking at it. That is a good way of looking at it. You could, do you know what? And this is me being weird, but out of the two options, I would be furious if I got the man's piss.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah.
That's men for you. Like, okay, I'll drink a woman's piss.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if she was hot and it was the piss, and then you'd be like, and I'm not saying that I want to do this. Don't clip it.
Haven't a lot of men bought the bathwater of certain stars online? Yeah.
So, but what my point is something else is like, if you were presented with one or the other, like, and you had to drink it and you drunk it, I would obviously not, I'd be pissed, obviously. But I wouldn't be as pissed as if I drank the male one.
Yeah, it's like when you go to get a massage and then it's a male physiotherapist and you're like,
yeah.
I guess on the website it didn't specifically say, but I don't want this.
No. There is something, I'm suspicious of male masseuse.
Yeah, there's definitely a point at which you raise some eyebrows.
You know?
Think, why'd you really get into this? Or gynecologists?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all right, really? You just had a love for the vagina?
Yeah.
So you really want to fix all those vaginas out there?
Yeah. And just, you know, I've often thought about this. You know, you're in medical school, you're like, what are you into? You're like, oh, you know what? Blood is fascinating. Hematology, you know, it's our literal, you know, it's literally, you know, it's our life force, or the heart, the brain, neuroscience. Wow.
Yeah,
and we don't even know that much about the brain. It's an undiscovered frontier of medicine. There's a bloke at the back going, yeah, I want minge.
Yeah, can't trust that. And most gynecologists are male. But I think I've heard women actually prefer the male gynecologists.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
You know,
that's why I did it.
You know what? It must be tough. Like, and I would say this, like, I once went to a clap clinic. Is that what you call it over in Aussie?
Is that for the disease test? Sexually?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
you're just trying to brag that you're fucking?
Yeah, I've 3 times, mate. And I got the old scrapey from a doctor. And then they brought me into, it was a woman, which again, I was not happy about. And she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. She looked like Princess Jasmine out of Aladdin. You know, that type of woman?
Yeah.
That kind of like Middle Eastern / Indian kind of princess with the big eyes and the voluminous hair. And I was just like, what are you doing to me? What are you doing?
So what's the procedure for, because the way we do it is you just piss in a little cup, like kind of what they're doing.
Really? No. So what we do, right, you take your kecks down.
Yeah.
Right, they get this little Twizzler.
Okay.
And they put it down your Jap's eye, and then they go
I think you were part of an experiment or something. I think you've got a video somewhere on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Look at this cuck. And she then did it, and then you take it out.
That's not how I've done it.
Mate, I tell you, this country's third world.
Yeah. I think they're just doing that to you. I think she liked you. She wanted a bit of that.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, mate. She made it abundantly clear, both of her facial expressions and her general attitude, that she wasn't.
Oh, so it goes into your...
Yeah.
Oh, does that hurt?
Mate, it's really unpleasant. And the worst bit is, you're confronted with this, and I'm not joking. She was stunningly beautiful. She was like...
So you're there trying to not... You're like, don't get hard, don't get hard, don't get hard.
No, it was it was the opposite, because I was nervous, because I'm like, so you're fucking shrunken to the point.
Oh, okay. Like, usually it's bigger than this.
Yeah, it's kind of what you're thinking.
So many thoughts, hey?
Yeah.
Because you're like, you don't want it to be too big, because that's awkward.
Yeah.
You don't want it to, show that you're aroused, but at the same time, like, oh, it's usually bigger than this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just nervous. It's cold.
Yeah, and then you're faced with this situation where you're confronted with this beautiful woman, and and then asks you to disrobe, and then so you're thinking, well, part of your body's going,
this is my fantasy. Let's go.
They fucking nailed it.
Let's get on this magic carpet.
Yeah, and the other part of you is going, I'm going to have something going straight down the old Jap's eye, and not in a nice way.
God, just even thinking about that makes me twitch.
And it's one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. How do you deal with that?
There's too many thoughts going on at
Yeah.
that once, because it's the you don't want anything into the Jap side. That's a very sacred place.
Yep.
But at the same time, when a woman that beautiful is telling you to disrobe and telling you to do things, you do it.
Yeah.
You don't question it.
Because you don't want to be part of the patriarchy.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
you're actually a feminist.
Yeah.
For doing all of that.
Exactly. So it was a desperately unpleasant, very strange situation.
Yeah, having a small dick is actually a very feminist statement.
Well, hang on, mate.
Because it takes away it's toxic masculinity to want to have a big dick.
Still haven't salvaged it. But yeah, it was. I've never felt more vulnerable. I genuinely felt more vulnerable.
That's how men can actually be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Get something in the Jap side.
Yeah.
And then you'll talk about your feelings.
Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah.
And then when she's done, she just bagged it up and then she went through it. And then she was like, okay, thank you, Mr. Foster. And I was like, is that it? She was like, yes, the results will be in 2 weeks. And I'm like,
were you clean?
yeah, I was clean.
Okay.
Clean as a whistle, ladies. Not that whistles are particularly clean. I don't understand where we got that analogy from. But you just, and then I walked out feeling slightly violated. I thought it meant something to her.
You could have been like that guy at the strip club who's like, I feel like she actually liked me.
Yeah.
She was so nice to me.
Yeah. I mean, she wasn't. She was, don't get me, she was just utterly professional, but cold, if anything.
It's so weird to be professional in an environment like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is my job. This is what I do all day. I put things into people's dick holes.
Yeah.
That's what I studied. That's my parents migrated to this country, and I studied they did 2 jobs so I could do medicine.
Yep.
So I could make it. So I could make it to the middle class, to the upper class, and that's what I do. I put little rods into Francis's dick hole.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's what she does. And then it was over. It left me feeling quite empty, which is just goes, one night stands are never a good thing. You're in the right. You're right to have a relationship. Anyway, next.
It's more of an angry rant than a question. It's from Dan.
Okay.
Nothing's wrong with drinking on occasion, but my dad didn't. Heavy drinking, heavy smoker, all 9 yards. He's now a 45-year-old guy who can't shower and has to run off of batteries, which could have been prevented if he didn't drink so much. Total heart failure and brain failure. This prick fucked up our family so much. Oof. I love him and he has since quit drinking altogether and quit smoking-ish. But still, what a fucking prick.
Did you say 45?
Yeah.
So how old's Dan?
He doesn't say.
Dan's probably, I would say, Dan could be, so he's 45. Dan could easily be 18, 20.
Yeah, early 20s even. Yeah,
early 20s.
If he's a heavy drinker, it could be older.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. He could be, it could be 27. Could be mid to late 20s. So.
It's pretty rough at 45 to be. Yeah.
That's
a problem to solve. That's just quite sad, isn't it?
It is. But to be fair to Dad, he has quit the sauce. He's quit and he's cut back on the cigarettes.
I mean, he's already got failure of the brain and the heart, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So
he's connected up to a battery.
What does that mean, connected up to a battery?
As in your heart has to be powered by something that makes it pump rather than it pumping itself.
Really?
Is it a solar battery?
Well,
I mean,
hopefully.
Yeah.
Not in this country.
Because otherwise, that's really problematic.
Yeah, it is.
If he's running on oil and natural gas, that's disgusting. That's super problematic. It should be a solar battery running your heart.
Actually, do you know what? It could probably work in Aussie, provided you're not in Melbourne.
Yeah, you got a big. So you'd have a big solar vest.
Yeah.
And it would just be connected to your heart. That would look kind of cool. That would actually be Mad Max.
Yeah, it would. And progressive at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what should Dan do?
Oh, that's just one of those ones where you can't choose your family, can you?
No.
So you got to deal with that, don't you? I mean, you got to make sure you don't drink and smoke and get to the point that your dad did. And just take care of him while you can.
Yeah. You know, it's the number one predictor for addiction is alcoholism in the father.
Really?
Yeah, we had on TRIGGERnometry, we had a neuropharmacologist called Dr. David Nutt who was explaining about this. Yeah, it's the number one predictor.
Is there something in the genetics there, or is it just that usually people with alcoholic dads would grow up in an environment where then they're more susceptible to be addicted?
I don't think we know, actually. I do think there's a genetic component to addiction. I think I've got it, to be honest with you. It's why I don't drink. Because I just can't handle it. Like the moment I have one, I'm like, let's fucking go.
But that's the whole. That's why you drink.
Yeah, but you don't do it on a Tuesday and then drink all the way through and then wake up on Wednesday like, you know?
Who do you think has the
I don't
better
know.
drinking culture, Australia or the UK?
I actually do think the UK probably, even though Australia is known for the beer drinking and that, I've experienced some pretty wild drinking here in the UK. It's just like if the weather's that bad, there's nothing else to do. You go to the pub, you get sloshed.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my mate lived in Sydney and he said that there was a spate of people getting knocked through windows, having a fight and then getting punched through a window.
There was the lockout laws in Australia. So basically, a bunch of people were getting drunk and just punching people at the back of the head, and a few people died.
Shit.
So they made these laws saying venues can't be open after midnight. It screwed up the whole nightlife. It was such an overreaction, but yeah, that's Australia. I've noticed here in London, you got all those bikes you can hire. We tried that in Australia, but a bunch of drunk people kept throwing them in the river. And they had to get rid of it. Which I'm kind of proud of.
That's so funny.
I'm going to hire this and yeah, you're fucking done, mate. Get in the river.
That's so funny. That's so Australian. There's a bloke going, right, we're going to provide people with bikes, and drunk Aussie, fucking get in the river, mate.
I don't know what they're trying to achieve with that either.
Do you know my favourite one? Like my uncle, I don't know. Have you heard of a place called Croydon? It's a punch. Yeah. So for international viewers and listeners, Croydon is a very, very tough part of South London. Very, very deprived. Very tough. And I remember my uncle used to work for the council and he was in charge of policing and security for Croydon.
Oh yeah.
And he said like this bloke came in again, like what we talk about, this middle class guy, completely delusional. And he was like, I think what we need to do is we need to pedestrianise Croydon town centre. And my uncle was like, okay, can you explain why? He went, I want to bring cafe culture to Croydon. He's like, you fucking mental. Well, you're going to put chairs and tables out. They're just going to throw them at each other. So how long did the scheme last before they
Not long, I'm pretty sure. And in Melbourne, that's the progressive city.
Melbourne?
Yeah, they tried those hire bikes, or it was a hire scooter or something, and then you just saw them in the river everywhere. There's no reason to. It's pretty funny.
I'm surprised people in Melbourne have the upper body strength to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I must have been people travelling from a different place coming to Melbourne.
I can't imagine.
Fuck off with your bike, mate.
Yeah, I can't imagine a woke vegan comedian having the.
Yeah, they must have. They maybe three of them together can do it.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, because they're like, this is a symbol of the patriarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because a bike is only there's two wheels, and they're like, that's too binary.
That's a good point.
We need a bike with 77 wheels.
76 wheels.
Yeah.
And then
it reminds me of the gender binary, so I'm throwing it away.
Exactly. And every week there's just new wheels being added.
Yeah.
That's how the way it should be.
Progress.
Yeah, it is. It's progress. So do you know what? There is, I think there's some things you've just got to accept, Dan, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough situation, but I guess you can learn from it and not make the mistakes he did. And if you have kids, don't do that. Don't be on a battery when you're 45. Mate, it's pretty tragic.
I mean, you know what Dan's going to end up becoming? A comedian.
Yeah, it sounds like he'd have a lot of good stories to tell.
Yeah. You know, Jimmy Carr said that. He said, whenever anyone tells me I'm a comedian, I always ask them which one of their parents was sick.
That's a good point.
Smart guy, Jimmy.
Yeah.
All right.
This is from NoNet8365.
Yeah.
If a therapist loses their license because of grooming, can they get it back? Just want to know.
I've tried. You can't. I've tried multiple times. I stared too long.
Yeah.
And you would hope not if they've actually been proven to be grooming. I wouldn't want to go to a therapist that has a record of grooming.
Do you know, and I think this needs to be talked about more, right? Is that there are dodgy fuckers who are incredible at their job.
Yeah. So do you think there's a line at which, all right, you're so good at your job that we'll let you do maybe once a year you do a bit you have a bit of a groom, but that's it, like, up to a point.
Yeah, like there's so like, and I think that exists in society, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's one where it's like, all right, you're so good.
Yeah.
All right, one kid. One traumatized person, but Thriller was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at the back catalogue, that's why I think genuinely R. Kelly went down. Like, he didn't have enough bangers.
He wasn't Michael Jackson.
No.
Yeah, there was I Believe I Can Fly, but it wasn't as good.
Wasn't as good. I mean, Hotel was incredible.
Oh, that was a good song, actually, yeah. I remember, yeah.
Do you know,
that was a fun one.
Yeah, it's a classic. He's got a few where you go, and obviously Ignition.
Ignition, yeah, that's my favourite, actually.
Oh, man. Hot and fresh out the kitchen. Like, it'd be incredible. And like, you see him, he's a supreme performer, but his songwriting chops weren't good enough to warrant the horrendous crimes that he did and him getting away with it.
Yeah, he was close. I think if he just had one or two really good albums.
He never wrote a Billie Jean. He never wrote a generational.
Yeah, true. Ignition's no Billie Jean.
No.
It's close. Maybe if he just stared at a 15-year-old, he'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
It's not good enough.
No.
So I guess with this therapist, depends how good a therapist they are. If they're the best therapist in the world, curing depression just at the snap of the finger.
Yeah.
Then maybe, all right, we'll once a year have a bit of a groom. Just don't talk about it too much. And
yeah. You know, that's how it works.
The net benefit to society is still positive.
Do you know what we should do? We should set up based therapy. Can you imagine?
Where it's just like, what? Just fucking harden up.
Yeah. It's just, my mum died. How long ago? 1 month. You need to toughen up, mate.
Stop being a pussy.
Yeah. Do some weights.
Yeah. Well, they actually say, I mean, they haven't they proven like exercise is better than therapy or something like that in curing depression?
Maybe in Melbourne, mate, where you still throwing fucking bikes into...
Yeah, that's why they're doing that.
Yeah. My fucking dad never loved me, mate. Fuck you. But yeah, no, I think base therapy, just saying to people, just fucking go paleo, get on the protein, get jacked.
Mm-hmm. The Liver King approach.
Yeah, fucking go out and just fuck some bitches.
Yeah, I mean, look. It's our ancestral approach to that. That's caveman therapy.
Caveman therapy. Well, I'm here for it, mate.
I think it's great.
But genuinely, right? We joke, but just imagine you have a therapist just go, okay, this is awful. We're going to work together. You're going to need to get a gym membership. You're going to need to be in there 4 times a week, getting jacked. You'd feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of therapy. It's gone too far the other way, where it's just now we're so focused on our feelings and our emotional state, when you kind of need a bit of both. You need some standards, you need some discipline.
Yeah.
Maybe if they actually did therapy at the gym, men would really like that.
No, I don't think so. I think it'd put it off. You know what I do, which is great? It's just boxing.
Yeah, I've done some boxing. It's great.
It's great.
Nothing better than being punched in the face.
Yeah, it is.
Because then it deletes the neural pathways, so then the depression's gone.
Exactly.
Because you forget.
Yeah. You get brain damage.
And you're like, oh, was I depressed yesterday? I can't remember.
Perfect. You delete the hard drive.
That deletes the depression software.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've solved it. We have solved it.
Delete the hard drive.
Just delete the hard drive. That's how you do it.
Delete the hard drive. Don't delete the computer. Don't delete the person. But yeah, factory reset.
Exactly. That's what we... Go and see Tyson. Bam. Boom. Wake up. Can't remember the fact that your dad was a chronic alcoholic who's destroyed his own life.
You can't remember how to shit either, but, at least you can't remember you're depressed.
Yeah, and how long does it really take you to learn how to shit?
I mean, not long if you've got a proper brain.
Yeah.
But if you've got a damaged brain, I don't know if you'll ever be able to shit. But would you rather not be able to shit or be depressed?
It's a good question. That's up to you, Dan. We've given you the options.
If you're shitting your pants and you're happy, I think that's good. That's enlightenment. if you're sitting in your own shit and you're like, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm fulfilled.
That's what Buddhists are trying to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Because you're in the worst possible position. That's disgusting and gross, but you're like, oh, no, I'm happy. It's true enlightenment.
Perfect. Next.
This is from Adam. Hey, Francis, fellow ADHD-riddled maniac here. A few weeks ago, I was travelling home on the tube after a few beverages, and on the Northern Line, my phone was snatched out of my hands as I was sat down texting my friend. This bellend then ran out of the door just as the door was closing. I managed to force the door open of the tube and run after him, but lost him. Ended up having the old Bill give me a lift home and got in around 4 a.m. I'm still so angry about it. I'm annoyed about the lack of justice, brackets, do they even investigate it, and how the city I live in feels so lawless. I keep replaying the incident over and over in my head and getting annoyed I wasn't insured. Why will the mayor and government not do anything about the crime that are making this city feel so unsafe?
So what have they done? Have they defunded the police here? Because I've heard the petty crime here is on the rise, isn't it?
So what actually happened is like with all of these things, it's multifactorial. When under David Cameron's government, we brought in a policy called austerity because we were in the shit financially because of the 2008 crash. Our economy is largely dependent on banking and financial services. So we had this huge deficit because we had to bail out the banks. Theresa May then, what she did as Home Office Secretary was essentially cut 20,000 police officers.
Right.
Which then meant police were understaffed. She was repeatedly warned that if she did this, I think you can even look this up, the Metropolitan Police Officer then head of Metropolitan Police came out and said, if you do this, I cannot guarantee Londoners' safety. She went, couldn't give a fuck, and did it anyway. So we completely slashed police force.
It's never when the government says, oh, we're spending too much money. It's never, hey, we'll take a pay cut.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never, maybe there's too many people in the House of Lords.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't we just have 5 in the House of Lords?
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Instead of having how many we've got, 300,000 people now in the House of Lords who never turn up anyway. So you've got all of that happening. Then what you have is demoralisation of police because of over COVID with the whole like BLM, institutional racism, blah, blah, blah. And so you then had a whole swathe of people retire from the police force because they're like, well, why should I be a policeman when I just get abuse hurled at me, told I'm racist, stupid, whatever else. So you've got all these young kids now who haven't been properly trained. And what we have as well is just there's been an explosion of crime. We have we got 700,000 immigrants coming into this country net. Now, obviously, the vast majority of those people will be criminals. No, the vast majority of those people are decent law-abiding citizens. But that's going to bring a small... Not me, not you, mate.
I'm one of the crime people.
You're one of the crime wave. I've seen you.
I'm stealing some phones.
Yeah, mate. No, well, I've seen you with the bikes.
Yeah, yeah. I see a bike. It's just my Australian heritage. I just got to throw it in the Thames.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go, mate. This is what we do. Stop oppressing me. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's our culture.
It's our culture, fucking bastard. So a very, very small portion of them are going to be, and then so it's this entire toxic cocktail that we have in the city now.
Yeah, I heard 200 phones get stolen every day in London.
Yeah.
I think I can do 201. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. And I'd assume because the police are understaffed and it's just a phone, they wouldn't do it. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think vigilante justice is the way to go?
I think, what's actually kind of worrying is that people just feel helpless. And when you feel helpless, that's when things start to go a bit wrong. Yeah. Because they're like, well, you're not going to help me. The system doesn't work. I have gone through all the proper, thing. I've done everything that was asked of me as a citizen. You're not going to help, so why shouldn't I? When you do everything right and things aren't going well, that's when you get fed up. But what about if Labor is in? I know they're maybe more woke, but are they going to refund the police, the 20,000 police? Well, so Boris Johnson started that, and this is where it gets interesting. Like, apparently Labour are more hardline on immigration than Conservatives. Because they're left, they kind of can be. Interesting. So being left means like in comedy, like you can, you can be a sleazebag, and that's fine. And with Labour, they can be like they can actually adopt more of a right-wing stance with some particular policies, and they won't get the blowback.
Well, it depends if you're the part of the right that's pro-business or the part of the right that's, I guess, pro-nationalism. Because if you're pro-business, just the more immigration, better for big corporations, better for wealthy people. The cost of rent goes up. There's just more consumers. It's fantastic if you're wealthy and you live in a gated community.
Yep.
But if you are working class, and if Labor still is for the working class, it makes sense to have a sensible flow of migration's a lot like menstruation. Yeah. You want a nice, manageable flow. Yeah. Because if it's too heavy, it's not good for anyone. Yeah. Especially the whites.
Hey, boom. What a great. Have you done that joke before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great joke. I couldn't do it. Why not? Why can't I say that?
I reckon you could get
Especially the whites. Me. Why aren't you laughing? Want my country back.
No, I've taken it. Sorry.
And it's, you see the confidence.
The Australians.
This is the
We're taking over.
You're taking over. You did at one point, mate. I remember at one point in this city, and it felt like every other place was a walkabout.
When I was here the last time, that's when it felt like it. 2014 to 16. Yeah. They were just, Aussies were everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we left the EU. Then and then because of COVID and a variety of other things, and partially Brexit, our economy went. There's going to be someone in the chat going, "No, it's not because of Brexit." Right? Okay, we fucked it with Brexit, whether it was good or not. It was handled disastrously. Can we agree?
What should they have done? What would have been the best? Because everyone said we want a Brexit, and
not everyone, 52%. But
but that's the majority. It's democracy. You got to.
No, it's not democracy when it's the wrong opinion.
That's just those 2%. They got to what. Because there was the hard Brexit and the soft Brexit and all this sorts of like. What do you mean hard Brexit, soft Brexit?
Do you know this is very funny actually, right? So when I was towards the end of my time as a secondary school teacher, I'd be on playground duty and watch. You watching the kids play football because a lot of the time that's where the fights would be. And if a kid put in a particularly savage challenge on another kid and wiped it out, the whole group would just shout Brexit.
That's great.
And the kid would be lying there in pain, like his ankle crying, and everyone would just shout Brexit.
That's funny.
Which is very funny. So what was the question?
The crime. Right?
No, the crime. So we were talking about
his phone stolen.
Oh, so he got his phone stolen. I mean, look, that is the problem. So
you could have it all uploaded on the cloud.
Yeah,
you have a backup.
Yeah, you got to have it all uploaded on the cloud. I just think people are very angry because they think ordinary people just feel like they're not being represented. They're not, they're not being protected from crime. They're doing everything correct. They're taxed out their eyeballs, and they're going, "I'm getting screwed here, and you're not." So why am I taking part in a system that doesn't work for me?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a comedy.
Wouldn't blame you for thinking that. And it's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not like in Australia everything is it really nice?
Oh, similar sort of issues happening in Australia. The economy is just completely stagnated post-COVID. In fact, our real wages have gone. Our spending money, everything's gone down the last couple of years
as a result of COVID.
I think that's a big part of it. I mean, it's like he says, there's multiple factors. I'm not an economist, but I think a lot of it would be to do with COVID and the policies, and then they just printed a lot of money, and so then inflation goes up, and that's not good for anyone unless you own a bunch of houses and wealth. Then inflation's great, and now to keep the economy out of recession, they increased the migrant numbers to levels that many are saying are unsustainable.
Yeah.
And that also decreases the the GDP keeps going up, but the average quality of life goes down. So COVID was just the whole 20s so far have been a mess.
Man, it was so interesting watching your country's response to COVID. That Dan Andrews prick. We had these live streams called Raw shows, and we used to have something called the Bogan Cam.
Yeah.
And people used to pay me, send me super chats and be like Dan Andrews on the super chats to them. And then people used to clip it and send it to their mate. They'd be like, it's my mate Danny's 25th birthday. Can you send me a Bogan Cam, please?
That's funny.
And I'd be like Dan Andrews. I'd be like, take the vaccine, you cunt. I'm going to fucking stick it in your eye. I'm going to stick it with loads of vaccines until your face looks like a virus because that's the only way going to protect you. And they used to love it.
It's toxic masculinity if you don't take the vaccine.
Exactly, mate.
Got to take it up the arse.
Up the arse, in the eyes, in the ears, because that's the only way you're going to be protected from the virus.
Yeah, they were, even for the rest of Australia, Melbourne was just insane. They went way too far.
Well, how was Sydney? Was Sydney mental?
Sydney was probably similar to the rest of the world. There was a 3-month lockdown initially in 2020, and then another lockdown in 2021. That was about 3 months. And then I guess they just paid everyone. So everyone sort of was like, all right, fine. But it was a bit, they've actually come out and said, well, they haven't properly said sorry, but they've said it went too far.
Yeah.
Which is at least the first step to accountability. So I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, you know, when you're, for me in particular, it was like, I'm a young guy, I'm healthy. This is not going to affect me if I get it. And also my whole industry shut down. So I'm the one bearing all this responsibility so a bunch of 89-year-olds don't die, which, you know, okay, look, that's nice. But then since then, it's been terrible for young people as well because inflation's up, rent is up, everything is economically horrible. But if you're well-established and you own a house and you've got that bastion of wealth, that's gone up like crazy over the last couple of years. So there's just been such a big separation over the last couple of years from rich and poor, and you know it's leading to a lot of animosity. It's similar to the rest of the world. It sounds like it's the same here in Australia, and that's why we're throwing bikes into the river.
So what's the name of this individual again? What's his name, or does he not give a name?
I can't find it.
Okay,
we'll go with Dan.
Okay,
again.
so we'll go with Dan if that is your name. What I would suggest, mate, is accept the phone is gone. It doesn't. I know it's frustrating. It feels like you've been it is a violation. Go to the gym, get jacked, learn martial arts. Next time someone does it, fucking choke them out.
That's it.
And then take all the anger, resentment, and rage that you feel of life disrespecting you, not giving you what you deserve as a white man, and then go in there and just doing it.
Do what you need to do. You know, I'm all about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we do it.
All about that, man.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
And to flip it, if you could only make an income by stealing phones, what would your strategies be?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
You got to, from the perspective of the phone snatcher, doing it as the train doors are closing is actually kind of smart. You know, it minimizes the risk of them running after you.
Yeah.
So I'd maybe do that. Maybe a lot of tourists.
Yeah,
Yep.
Asian tourists with long selfie sticks.
Yeah, snatch it when in a big crowded area.
Yeah.
Or like try to just sneakily take it from the pocket so they don't. I mean, I clearly know all the strategies. Of that has been my income. Well,
Yeah.
the company's not paying enough yet, so I've got
Yeah.
to snatch a few phones. What else could you do?
I mean, there's a more kind of, dare I say, industrial approach, which is a physical threatening. But that threatening people, but that's a moron's way of doing it.
And you never know, somebody could call your bluff.
Yeah.
And you'd actually have to be good at fighting to do that. Because if you pretend that you're tough and say, give me your fucking phone right now,
Yeah.
and they're like, what are you going to do about it? And you're like, oh.
Do you know there was a politician? Exactly. There was a politician in the 90s. He was a leader of our Liberal Democrat Party called Paddy Ashdown. And have you heard of the SAS?
Yeah, I know this.
So there used to be a regiment called the SBS,
Ooh.
which is the level above, and they were special boat service.
Okay,
So
I haven't heard of them actually.
Yeah, have you? Yeah. So, but what people think is they thought the air service was the top. The SBS has now been disbanded, but the boat service was even more elite, and it was harder to get into. And Paddy Ashdown was in the SBS.
Wow.
Right. God bless his soul, he's no longer with us. But he was.
Most politicians look like they can't do a push-up.
Yeah.
So that's rare.
Yeah. And he was a top shagger as well.
Do you know from personal experience?
Mate, he absolutely bent me over.
Is that why you were going to get your test?
Yeah, exactly, because I got fucked by Paddy Ashdown.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Listen, once you felt the strong arm of the special forces, man.
Of that SBS cock.
Yeah. There is no going back.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say no.
No, you can't. I felt safe.
Yeah, I would feel safe in those arms too.
Yeah. I think we all would, to be honest.
What are the Liberal? Because I know the Lib Dems are actually a pretty sizable political party here, but I've never really. Are they left? Are they right? Are they centrist? What are they?
They're kind of centrist, but they're useless. They're kind of. I used to be actually, because I was a top shagger. When I was Elliot's age, I was a member of the Liberal Democrat Party.
Oh, right. Okay.
They're kind of centrist, have some lefty policies, have some righty policies.
Okay.
They tend to be more kind of like centre-left on culture, centre-right on economics.
Well, you think that sort of a party would be popular right now, right? Or they're just a bit...
Yeah, but they're really woke. They're just crap.
Oh,
they're
okay,
just really insipid and...
Yeah.
They don't say what they mean. And so they call themselves the Liberal Democrats. And then when Brexit happened, they wanted to repeal the referendum. You go, come on, really?
Yeah. Okay.
I understand you were pro-Remain, fine, that's your position. But you can't then call yourself democratic and then want to repeal a democratic referendum.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But anyway, so he wasn't in charge and this was in the 90s. And this guy in Clapham tried to mug him. Kick the shit out of them, mate. Fucking...
Yeah. So that's what you got to do. You got to join the
SBS.
Now defunct SBS.
Yes.
You got to start at the SAS.
Yeah.
Make it to the SBS. And then next time some dickhead tries to steal your phone, you just go full SBS on them.
Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of SAS guys are all quite small. They're all like 5'5", 5'6", pretty slim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
so I could do it.
You're actually the perfect highs and makeup physically for a SAS soldier. Because
maybe I am. Maybe I'm in the SAS.
Yeah, mate. Just imagine that. Because imagine that you confronted one and then you got fucked up by a little 58-year-old man.
Then you wouldn't steal any phones again.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. Is he still...
No, he's not. God bless him. He is in heaven currently beating up muggers as we speak.
Yeah. Well, why would the muggers be in heaven?
And shagging secretaries, because he's doing what he loved.
Okay. Yeah, he's shagging all of heaven.
Yeah, he is.
He's shagging God.
Yeah, he is. Like his secretaries. God bless you, Paddy.
It's from particular name 8428. I'm a teen and I'm unable to work at this moment. My life is not going good right now and I need to find ways I can earn money. I've tried doing surveys, yet they're not helping. I would walk dogs or mow grass, but I'm not allowed to.
Why not allowed to? Doesn't say.
Yeah.
Well,
get on OnlyFans. Demand for that, teen.
Is he legal?
It says a teen, so there's quite a broad spectrum of what it could be.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, like you've gone there. I don't. Do you know what this is?
If you just want the money, I'm just saying.
I was writing a routine about this, and I need to go back to it. Like, because we all started out in comedy doing the open mics. Brutal, horrific, awful, dying on our asses. Like, not me, because I was smashing it from the start. But, no, genuinely. And just imagine, like, being all of these things. Like a dancer, an actor, failing at any of these things is obviously awful. Can you imagine failing as an OnlyFans model?
Yeah, that's humiliating.
Just imagine you're just there in front of a camera, like sticking a fucking table leg up your ass and no one's watching.
And you're like, this is my dream, but I still need to work at the cafe. So I need to have the real job to be able to sustain this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there would be a lot that are failing.
Yeah.
Statistically.
In fact, most people, Elliot, if you could look
maybe
up...
we should support them.
Yeah, I think the government should get involved.
Yeah, the government should help support struggling creators.
Exactly, because most of them are women, therefore they're oppressed.
Yeah, and well, maybe a lot of the government officials do support them.
That is probably true.
We just don't know about it.
If anything,
I would guess they do.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'd actually, knowing our government officials, they'd be more interested in sort of the teen range.
Yeah, teen boy range. Yeah.
So maybe that teen would be actually, for the government. And then once you get them in, then you blackmail them.
Yeah, I was going to say, entrap them. Get them to agree to some sort of rendezvous and then say, I'm 15 and screenshot it.
Yeah.
Ask for 100,000.
Yep.
And there you go. You're set for life, probably.
That's a good idea. So give us the stats, Elio.
The average monthly income on OnlyFans is £150.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Can you imagine, like, you basically put a cucumber up your what's it?
For that's not a good rate. Is it? They need to unionize.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We need to unionize. Sex work is real work.
Better conditions, better pay.
Yeah. It's 150 quid. You've just given up your dignity. You've shoved your foo-foo out to the world and you got 150 nicker.
Not worth it.
Not worth it, man.
Maybe 300.
No, no, you can't.
I guess the hours, it depends on how much time you put into it. If you spent half a day for 150 quid, maybe, you know, it's something.
No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I know a comedian in Austin who sort of got basically he was hanging out in a green room and he got drunk and high and there were a bunch of gay comics there and he showed them a picture of his dick and they went to him, you could actually make money out of this. And he's now on OnlyFans. He sells dick pics.
Just the dick? So they don't know it's you?
Doesn't know it's him.
That, you know, that's possible.
He makes,
I wouldn't mind that. If it's just the dick.
That's all he does. He's got a gay fan base.
So people pay $10 a month to just see the dick?
He earns about $4,000 a month.
No,
$4,000 a month.
I mean, is it a good? Have you seen this dick?
No,
must be a good dick, right?
I don't look at competitors.
You got to know. You got to know the competition. Friends.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
I mean, if that's just an average dick getting 4,000 a month.
I don't think it is because I think gay dudes have seen a lot of dick.
Yeah,
because gay dudes frequently tend to be hypersexual. So this must be what I'm thinking. Is this is a pretty impressive one?
It must be either a massive one or a tiny one.
Yeah, but you wouldn't pay for a tiny, would you?
Well, maybe just to laugh at or fetish.
Yeah, no.
That's the only hope I have.
yeah. I just sit back and think of that doctor, and it's average size. But that's what he did.
4,000's pretty good.
$4,000. I think
that covers your basic needs.
The problem with sex work, though, is there's the element of novelty involved. So once you've kind of seen the grand reveal, as it were, you're not going to carry. You know what I mean? Once you've seen it, you're like, okay, I get it. It's whatever it is. But
yeah, do they sustain? Yeah, I wonder with the OnlyFans, do they sustain that for what, 5 years? You got to pretty much cash in for 5 years, invest it all, and then you're out because you're not going to be 55 making the same money.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
that's a very specific market.
Yeah.
A niche, shall we just say. But no, apparently he's earning less now. And he's doing open mic comedy, which is even more degrading than OnlyFans.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. But
you're either bearing your dick or you're bearing your soul.
You're bearing both at the same time.
Yeah. You're bearing your dick jokes with your soul and they're both dying.
So there we go. I would say, on a serious note, that's tough, actually, because...
So he wants some income and he's potentially underage.
Yeah.
But why is he not allowed to mow the lawns? Could he just work at McDonald's or anything like that? Or is it just parents are not letting him?
I don't know.
Or...
Yeah, I think parents are not letting him. What you need to do is find a skill that you're really good at, not OnlyFans, and think... See, this is a mistake people make because they go to university and they go, I'm going to go do a degree and then that is going to make me more employable. It actually won't. What makes you employable are skills.
Yeah.
What is your skill? What can you bring that people are going to want to pay for money for? In the case of this comedian, it's not his jokes, it's his cock. Gay men want to pay to see it. That's his skill.
If you could call it a skill.
Yeah. Or a service.
A gift.
A gift to the world. So I would say that. I would say, what is it that you can do, that you can offer? And just do that. A little bit of gardening. Well, he said mowing the lawn. That's what you want to think. Do you know what they used to do? Like, if you could go and work in the summer for a builder. Yeah. Just, you're a young 16-year-old boy. You're young. You're lusty. You're vibrant. You can go and hump stuff.
Lusty. Is that how you describe 16-year-olds?
we're going to be moving on.
We're going to clip that.
Yeah.
That's actually all the questions for this week, so you can end on that sweet note.
I'll end on that sweet note. Thank you very much.
Sweet note of a lusty 16-year-old.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be thinking about.
Indeed. Anyway, that's the reason I'm no longer a teacher. Neel, promote. What have you got to promote? Do you have a podcast? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have an OnlyFans?
You can follow me on all the socials. It's my name, Neel Kolhatkar, Neel, and then last name Kolhatkar. You can't. If you misspell that, that's racist. So
yeah, you did say it a bit quick. So
if you look up Neel comedian, I'll come up.
Perfect. There you go. Like a penis. Guys, thank you so much for watching the
like
show.
My penis right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking about lusty 16.
Anyway, there probably won't be a show next week because I'll be cancelled. See you soon. And also send in your questions and follow me on Instagram and all the other stuff. Bye.